Kasama na po natin ang isa rin nating suki, si Dr. Froilan Calilong, political analyst at mula po sa University of Santo Tomas, Faculty of Department of Political Science and Graduate School. Good morning po, Dr. Froilan. Welcome back.
Welcome back po.
Yes, good morning, Christian and Vicky, and good morning din po sa lahat ng ating mga taga-subay.
Siguro sir, simulan natin dun sa tanong na ang Vice President nga ba ay immune from suit? Kasi may mga nagsasabing oo, may nagsasabing hindi. Ano po ba talaga yung final?
Well, actually, this opens a lot of questions, no, for a legal debate primarily, no, kasi nga unang-una sa ating constitution, ang talagang meron lang immunity from suit, no, is the president, no. Yun yung tinatawag nating executive immunity from suit, and itinalagatan ng ating saligang batas primarily para nga hindi mabother yung ating pangulo, no, from the doing his function and his job, lalong-lalo na kung may mga criminal and mga administrative cases that will be filed against him, no. Well, the same though does not really apply to the vice president, although the vice president is an impeachable officer, and that the postulation is that kinakailangan muna siyang matanggal, no, through an impeachment process before criminal charges could actually be filed against him or against her. The reason primarily is because we don't want to use criminal allegations or criminal accusations as a political weapon against a sitting impeachable officer. So primarily yun yung dalawang schools of thought basically dito. Pero sa punto kasi na nangyari nga nitong pagpa-file nung usapin ng plunder recently by several civil society groups, I think what they're trying to demonstrate here is the idea na kahit impeachable officer yung ating vice president, inunahan nila, no, na pag-file ng plunder case to actually create the narrative and the optics that they really have a strong case against the president, against the vice president, and unfortunately, no, kung titignan natin kasi yung kanilang allegations, primarily I think it's concentrated on plunder, no. Medyo mahirap kasi itong plunder case because lumalabas kasi when you say plunder, kailangan yung kinakasuhan natin mas been able to actually amass ill-gotten wealth amounting to 50 million pesos, no, at the very least. Ang problema lang dito kasi doon sa final nila na plunder na kaso na yon is yung allegations pa rin nila is about the confidential fund, no, that was used by the office of the vice president and the Department of Education, na kung titignan natin ay hindi personal kundi institutional, no. So yun yung medyo tinitingnan ko rito basically regarding the evidences that they actually have.
Sir, doon lang muna ako sa pagpa-file ng kaso. So, pwedeng ituloy ng ombudsman, pero you see na magiging madugo. Kasi, sabi nyo nga po, impeachable official siya. So, parang ano lang naglalaban yung dalawang konsepto. Impeachable official siya, so dapat after siya ma-impeach. Pero at the same time, she is not immune from suit, or any vice president is not immune from suit.
Yeah, that's the reason. So ang mangyayari kasi dito, Victoria, maaaring yung mga kaso, no, na na-file sa kanya ngayon, pwedeng magamit later on for possibility of filing a stronger impeachment case, no. So kumbaga parang you're already paving or clearing the path towards that, no, or leaning towards the possibility. Pero yung kasing yung ombudsman kasi, we need to understand, ang gagawin lang naman talaga niya basically dito is preponderance at saka yung pagtingin dito sa mga preliminary evidences, and if the ombudsman feels that there is a strong case, then saka siya mag-elevate ng kaso, no, either to the Sandigan Bayan, or if it's going to be an impeachment, pwede niya rin itong i-transmit sa Congress, no, so that they will be able to have a stronger case build up against the vice president. So primarily yun yung trabaho rito ng ombudsman. And I think naman titingnan naman itong maigi ng ating ombudsman and whatever ang gagawin niya rito, no, kung ifa-file niya sa Sandigan Bayan or sa Congress, I think that will be within the power naman talaga ng ating ombudsman.
So pwede pa lang yung ganong track na pwede ring ipasa ng ombudsman sa Kongreso, at kapag ipinasa nila sa Kongreso yun, Dr. Froilan, in the form of impeachment complaint ba siya? Ganun ba ang lalabas doon?
Yeah, actually, this will be supplementary evidences, no, for the possibility of filing an impeachment complaint against the vice president mainly. So, yun nga, ang nakita ko kasi rito is primarily nga yung optics, no, and the narrative that they would like to create is very very obvious, no, especially yung mga napakaraming papel, no, na mga sinasabi nilang evidences. Pero hindi ko kasi makuha dito is that kung plunder ang fina-file nila na kaso, no, why are they asking, no, the vice president to actually open up yung kanyang bank accounts? Kasi when you file a criminal case like plunder, the burden of proof actually rests upon the people who are filing it, no? So in short, dapat may ebidensya ka na to begin with, no? And ang nangyari dito, parang they're asking the vice president to submit, no, yung kanyang bank account so that magiging stronger yung case nila. So in short, parang nag-file sila ng plunder pero parang it's based mainly on a guess that the vice president may have actually amassed ill-gotten wealth for herself in the form of in line with her confidential funds. No, in short, wala pang malinaw na justification. So maganda to, no? Actually, yung ginawa nila to get the attention. If the goal was really to get the attention, I think they were able to do so. If the goal was actually to substantiate yung path nearing towards the filing of another impeachment, then I think it's also good. Pero kasi ang tinitingnan dito ng ating mga kababayan mainly yung tinatawag nga natin na selective outrage, no? Kasi kung titingnan natin, the group actually, though they filed a case against the vice president, I think they are very very silent on the other allegations of massive corruption, systemic corruption against the president, no? Kasi kung ito talaga ay masasabi natin na talagang patas ang pagtingin nila, no, at ang kalaban talaga nila rito ay corruption at hindi lamang yung isang institusyon o yung isang tao, I think they also have filed the same thing with in the case of the president.
So, Doc Froy, nakikita nyo ba na, kasi ang sabi ni VP Sara, it's a fishing expedition. Kung ganito, na parang hindi pala matibay pa yung ebidensya. Anong masasabi nyo doon sa ganung statement ng Vice Presidente?
Well, I think it really redounds to that, no? Kasi kung lumalabas talaga parang nag-file ka ng impeachment or rather ng plunder case, but you don't really have strong evidence to back it up, no? And then dito lamang sa course ng pagpa-file mo sa ombudsman, it's like you're asking the ombudsman to do the preliminary evidence gathering for you, pero you were the ones who filed it, no? So the reasoning there being is that dapat meron ka ng solidong evidence to begin with. And I don't know if those piles of paper there, no, na dala-dala nila, I really don't know kung yun ba sapat na, no, para talaga, kasi kung titignan mo merong shock factor, no, pag tinignan mo siya sa TV, parang ang dami-dami naman. Pero ang tanong is, ano bang laman nun, di ba? Ano ba ang talagang nilalaman nun para masabi natin na this will tantamount to a case of plunder against a sitting vice president. So at the end of the day, it's not the optics, no, hindi yung pagtingin at hindi yung atensyon, kundi yung laman ng ebidensya, lalong-lalo na ang fina-file nila rito is a criminal act, it's a criminal offense, no? Dapat masiguro natin dito that there is this proof of guilt beyond reasonable doubt, no? And it is not just mere allegations or mere opinions that they're going to be basing their accusations on.
At magiging challenging to, I think, kasi ang policy, di ba, ni Ombudsman Rimulya nung siya ay nasa DOJ pa even, hindi ba, na kailangan matibay yung mga kaso. Yun ang kailangan, yun ang pinakahinahanap nila para maging gumulong din yung complaints at talagang ma-file sa korte kung meron man. Kasi madali nilang na i-dismiss ang mga complaints kapag sa first stage pa lang, mahina na yung mga ebidensyang inilatag mo.
Tama yun. Actually, mas magiging matibay itong kaso, no? Lalo-lalo na plunder ito, no? Sabi ko nga sa inyo, it's about amassing ill-gotten wealth for personal gain, no? So kung sana dito ang magiging batayan nila ng kaso nila, halimbawa ay yung kickbacks from contractors kung meron man, no? O kaya yung mga pera na directly napunta sa kanya, no? Na hindi dumaan sa institusyon kagaya halimbawa nitong Office of the Vice President and the DepEd. And syempre itong confidential fund kasi medyo para sa akin mahina ito talaga, primarily because the COA already made their rulings on this, number one. one. And yun nga, mas maraming layer kasi ng sabihin na nating legal secrecy pagdating sa confidential funds, and even the ombudsman may actually find it really quite hard to go against the law, providing COA the necessary leverage para hindi na talaga mailabas or hindi talaga malaman kasi nga it's really confidential. That's the problem. So if this group really would want to have a better case or establish a stronger one, I think they need to go beyond the confidential funds, no, and kung magagawin lang mas personal, no, yung kanilang allegation dito kay VP Sara, I think that's the only way by which this allegations could have a stronger legal merit.
Okay. Abangan po natin, Doc Froilan, yung kahinatnan nitong mga complaints na ito. Maraming salamat po, sir. Thank you.
Thank you po, Doc.
Maraming salamat po. Anytime. God bless po.
Good morning.
Happy Sunday si Doc Froilan Calilong, political analyst at faculty ng Department of Political Science at Graduate School sa University of Santo Tomas.